We'll take it over. We'll wait and see. Even I might blink out you and me. I thought that dream could fly away. Oh, away, away. The magic show I cannot escape. Going to the other side, other side. Other side. I don't wanna be alone tonight. Oh, bring me to the other side. There's no one else left for me to leave. Going to the other side. Halo guys.
Halo guys. Tunggu anunya habis.
Halo guys.
Halo Ken.
Halo guys.
You know the truth. Let me live forever in your life. Halo guys, Dani di sini dan ini adalah live streaming Genshin Impact.
Alah.
Oh, untung aku udah set.
Halo teman-teman, selamat datang di streaming saya bersama saya Dani, dan hari ini kita akan bermain Genshin Impact. Sesuai dengan judul, kita bakal ngejalanin quest KAZUHA, KAZUHA, quest story-nya mereka. Jadi belakangan ini ada bocil yang niru satu konten gue ya. Salah, ini harusnya gitu.
Woi, udah.
Tapi udah clear, jadi gue salah.
Belakangan ini. Iya, udah clear.
Aman.
Udah clear kok. Enggak usah diungkit-ungkit lagi.
Bentar, ini kartu kok apa ada di sini ya? Aduh. Kok kartu travel gue hilang nanti. Tak masuk dompet saya.
Aku nggak kuliah karena dosennya lagi dinas.
Tidak perlu kuliah jenderal.
Tidak perlu kuliah.
Nah, jadi kita langsung mulai aja ya. Yeay.
Happy.
Kita resmi menamatkan Zenless Zone Zero.
Apa anjir, rilis juga belum? Maksud apa?
Booting sama kafe.
Puterin web gak tahu kapan. Oke, jadi kita disuruh untuk Biako Plain di Nazuma. Nama questnya itu bayangan ungu di padang pedang bayangan ungu di padang belantara.
Bayangan ungu.
Jadi ya cilnya ada yang namanya ABC. Sudahlah, aku sudah malas mendengarkan itu. Lagi pula anunya juga sudah clear ya guys ya. Jadi tidak perlu digoreng lagi. Tenang, kita sudah tahu kok.
Tidak usah.
Kita balik ke politik. Lanjut. Kita lanjut.
Oh, saya suka kok.
Saya suka kok. Oh ya, ngomong kenapa aku pengen ini ya, pastinya satu dan lain hal ya, aku ngejalanin anunya storynya kayak di KAZUHA ini bukan tanpa sebab. Yang pasti ini pas berkaitan dengan quest Arkonnya, di mana aku pengen ngelanjutin yang di Sumeru. Teman di sini kehadang sama perlu nyelesain quest ini dulu. Jadi questnya si ini. Nih quest ini nih. Ini bahasa Inggris anjir.
Anjir bahasa Inggris.
Nah, jadi yang ini questnya yang ini. Jadi intinya quest dari KAZUHA. Bayangan ungu kenapa nggak bayangan hitam? Nah,
Mending kita bikin food estate aja lah.
Tema Inazuma itu ungu.
oh gitu ya. Jadi tuh sebenarnya gini guys, aku tuh pengen streaming juga di platform hitam gitu. Cuman tuh agak males gitu loh.
Warna hitam.
Hitam kan masal kah?
Kan anjir.
Amin, amin.
So many things have happened since then.
Harus dia mata.
Yeah, we've
Oke,
definitely
sekarang
made
kita
some
tanam
progress on our
kentang
journey.
sama padi.
Oh iya, aku lupa.
Adi.
Belum ada kentang.
Aku lagi bikin food estate, Mas.
Food estate.
Food
Aku jadi inget yang di servernya Winda anjir, Yan pengabdi setia Prabowo anjir.
Jangan dibahas. Aku jadi ingetnya momen aku dongo banget itu.
Tunggu dulu. Oh iya, aku kan ngerekam ya, jadi tinggal bikin short aja ya.
No.
Dani, kapan THR? Matanya THR. Dak ada THR, dak ada.
Belum lah.
Kenapa?
Apa THR? Taman
Wah.
hiburan remaja.
Cok, pedangnya hitam, Cok.
Pedangnya astaga naga. Pedangnya hitam
Pedangnya
sekali.
hitam sekali.
Baru datang udah disuguhi hitam.
Baru datang loh.
Hitam juga.
Astaga naga.
Does it
Yang
wanna
datang berbulu.
Iya tuh, baru datang langsung
convince him to calm down a little?
hitam.
Astaga naga. Yang datang berkumpul. Pada dengan bulu bawah juga belum tumbuh. Itu umur dan SMP ya.
Huh? So you don't have a vision after all?
Itu voice-nya Trans 7 bukan sih?
Yang mana?
Kazana.
Iya, Kasana.
Iya.
Itu gimana caranya?
Seumur dan SMP. Loli. Mata malu. Pansos. 3 kriteria yang sempurna. Langsung bawa aku lamar.
Masih SMP.
Sebenarnya tuh udah ada masalah, cuman dia tuh suaranya dia tuh sangat khas sampai orang-orang tuh
Iya.
flashback gitu loh. Ini bukannya yang Kazana ya, kok malah jadi pedo.
Jadi urut Deus aja.
Kasana pedo edi.
Seems like I've mistaken you for
Masalahnya
someone else.
gimana? Ketahuan banget
At
soalnya.
the very least, you should make
Wah,
sure you got the
kecembungnya
right
gede.
person before you go attacking them. No, wait. Even when you've got the right person, you shouldn't go attacking them out of the blue. It's dangerous.
Genshin.
Have you ever met someone by the name of KAZUHA? He carries a sword just like you. I've also heard that he
Nah,
possesses an
kalau
animal
lagi nggak
vision.
exploit ini nggak nge-lag, nggak tahu kenapa ini.
Kenapa kamu mencarinya? Oh iya bentar, aku lupa nggak share screen, sorry. Aku baru delok ke ini soalnya. Kecatean. Wih, tuh.
Yeay.
Aku bocil yang butuh THR. Kapan ya gue? Kapan-kapan?
That's none of your business.
Kapan-kapan.
Never mind. You don't look like you know anything anyway. I'm wasting my
Itu orang ngeliatnya kayak gimana?
Ngemain game.
Ya gimana?
Ya itu gimana cara dia ngelihat, Cok?
Menggunakan apa ya? Hati nurani.
Rumus Pitagoras.
Hati nurani ya.
Rumus Pitagoras.
Rumus Pitagoras.
Jujur cok, bagian bawahku gatel cok.
This problem. Coming
Garuk.
around here
Garuk,
leaving that
garuk
weird
dulu.
sword in
Aku
a
udah sambil garuk cok.
didn't even apologize.
Tadi galer on stream.
Real
Minum
nice.
Tadi galer on stream.
Anjir. Bisa nggak diperjelas gitu? Aku tuh berusaha ngomong tuh menutupi yang tidak-tidak ya. Tai ya. Astagfirullah. Karo dan adem soalnya. Adem senda coba soalnya agak gimana ngono loh.
Week export.
Orang ini tuh ada masalah apa sih tiba-tiba datang terus main sabet pedang ke muka kita. Sudahnya nggak minta maaf pula, benar-benar gak waras.
Well, one thing's for sure. No way are we telling him anything about KAZUHA.
Tumben Pak emang pinter.
Tumben Paimon pinter.
Mean, Paimon's smart lots of the time.
Masa perasaan Paimon kaki ya Dani, iya kaki.
Mungkin udah makan.
Berarti kalau misalnya nggak makan berarti dongo gitu loh.
Untung kaki ya, bukan
Kaki
Kaki
kaki, bukan yang itu kan, Dan.
keko.
Buat estate.
buat estate.
Kaki.
Food estate lagi.
Leh, masih mending food estate daripada ini, daripada anjing. Weh, itu siapa yang masukin? Weh, babi, masukin ke ini, masukin ke chat istimewa. Jangan di chat publik.
Pasti Anis. Ya enggak, Dan?
Apanya?
Itunya.
Paimon.
Chat public.
Food estate kemen.
Wah, orang food estate mah. Food estate Kemenhan, sialan. Gak masalahnya bukan gimana ya, emang babi cok masalahnya cok.
Food
Ki.
estate.
Gak masalah ini cara memantik api anjir tuh. Food estate Kemenhan anjir. Maksudnya apa coba?
Ya ampun, Dani galer, coba kita lihat.
Bisa gak kan dibuka lagi mas?
Kiper jelas aja.
Galer.
Bisa tidak? Bisa. Entah masalahnya. Bisa ndak dibuka, ndak disebut lagi mas.
Ya gimana, Dak? Dia kan tukang stream snap.
Entah masalahnya bisa gak disebut gitu loh.
Pokoknya kalau aku, Eston, Dika, Dani ngumpul, nemu aja hal yang pertama, Smash Nook. Lalu 15 GB Dix. Abis itu ini Dani galau dan stream.
Gak ada anjir, hoak banget.
Dani galer.
Iki loh cok, kakiku gatel cok.
Bohong banget tuh.
Tentu nyenggol BMKG. Matanya nyenggol BMKG.
Anyway, just to be on the safe side, we should go find Kazuha right away and tell him to watch his back.
Sebenarnya aku punya sebuah firasat.
Oh? What kind of hunch?
Apa tuh?
A special connection? You mean beyond already knowing each other?
Firasat apa tuh kira-kira?
Yeah, maybe a little. But then again, most people look pretty much the same once they start fighting, so that doesn't really prove anything.
Gimana live chatnya itu reaksinya?
Gak ada sih.
Anyway, there's
Nothing.
no time to lose.
ada.
Pura-pura gak lihat.
Jujurku.
We won't get into any danger.
Pura-pura gak lihat.
Reaksi jujurku.
Pura-pura gak lihat.
Reaksi jujurnya siapa?
Saya bentar, ini kadang-kadang mikrofonku nih suka pick sendiri. Jadi aku kasihan sama telinga kalian. Jadi karena aku itu sangat care, bukannya kopoy, care, ya.
Woi,
Saya kan tidak muncul-muncul ya.
jelas. Ya, makin berjelas tadi nonton bolet.
Leh,
Kan bentuk
aku
aja,
bukan
kan?
bentukku ganjar, Cuk.
Buok.
Ketahuan banget bohongnya tuh.
Astagfirullahalazim. Ini nanti lama-lama aku
banget
panggil
pokoknya.
juga nih KPPS di dekat rumahku ini.
Buok.
KPPS.
Cek 1 2 3. Oke, suaranya harusnya nggak begitu pick ya. Jadinya kalian
Eston,
Oi.
ingat gak
cek
ngaku-ngaku
satu.
pamannya polisi di India?
Waktu ada cheater itu ya.
Iya.
Orang India cheater gak mau ngaku, langsung pakai fotonya orang India.
Let's look for him there.
Kepala tengkorak.
Yeay, mulai. Storynya KAZUHA, KAZUTOT.
Kanjut.
Astagfirullahalazim.
Diperjelas.
Cangkemiku loh, Rek.
Diperjelas
Gomok banget.
atau tidak
Jadi
diperjelas.
Mas Dani
atau
next
tidak.
match ini mau ambil Kazuha atau newbie?
Kalau bisa dua-duanya ngapain
Dua-duanya.
salah satu? Yo.
Kenapa Dani harus
Apa
memilih?
itu?
Pilihan macam apa itu? Mending pilih
Kenapa
dua-duanya lah.
Dani harus memilih?
Kenapa harus memilih kalau bisa dua-duanya? Betul apa betul? Nih,
Kenapa
Ah,
Dani harus memilih?
kalau ya nih, ini berdasarkan candaan dari majelis yang pernah aku datengin ya. Kalau misalnya bisa dua, kalau misalnya bisa dua, kenapa harus satu? Kata dia gitu.
Berarti kowe poligami dan nanti
Enggak.
What the fuck?
Kue kemarin lihat gak yang kemarin aku search di Mari? Itu ngebahas itu masalahnya.
bahas itu apa?
Bahas poligami.
oh yang pengajian di sekolahmu itu kah?
Penting. Iya, pengajiannya itu
Jadi mau
pengajian yang
poligami.
aku kemarin datengin itu.
Itu sekolahmu gak sih?
Bukan sekolah, Mas, dekat komplek iku. Perumahanku.
Oke, sekolah.
Ya, mana ada sekolahan ngomongin
Bukan
poligami
lokasi.
anjir, sekolahan ngomongin poligami maksud amat anjir.
Ya kan siapa tahu.
Itu kan ada tik di screenshotan itu.
Ciao.
Tahu siapa?
Ciao.
Estet Kemenhan.
Ciao, Cibe.
Nima.
Tutorial memancing pendukung Prabowo ya.
Heh.
Apa lagi nih?
Hello.
Ya emang Jawa kan penyendiri.
Jawa.
Jawa.
You're looking for KAZUHA too, huh? Guess he must have done something impressive after
Ya
all.
tim magic.
Juga.
Well, we took the small vessels into Rito on a routine supply run.
Tolong nih
but
skeleton
this
banyak banget
time,
anjing.
as soon as we entered the harbor, we ran into a huge crowd of Inazumans, all of them wanting to know
Tolong
about
dia ini
KAZUHA.
kaoi dikendalikan.
If it's because of that battle on Nizuchi Beach, Captain Beto had a great run there too, but I don't see her getting this
Yang
kind of
di
attention.
Java ya gini dah. Spawn net mobnya tinggi banget. Kan.
KAZUHA keeps
Potong
to
udah
himself
set
most of the time. In fact, there are times when he doesn't even
Alamak
listen
kripe.
to the
Alamak
captain.
kripe. No,
She
no,
just
no,
laughs
no.
it
Dua
off.
kripe. 3 kripe. What?
Oh, so you still don't know what he did.
I've heard bits and pieces. Something about him blocking the Raiden Shogun's
Jatuh
Muso
di
no
lubang aku.
Hitotachi.
Gituin lo, Bang.
Is it really as big a deal as everyone's making it out to be?
Ini
Really?
kan
Wow.
Minecraft
When you
Jawa
put it
ini.
like that, it all makes sense. In that case, his
Jawa
newfound
itu
stardom is
spawn
well
net
deserved.
mobnya itu. Gak ada deh, gak ada nonton bulat, gak ada nonton, gak ada.
Itu kan Minecraft Java. Java itu artinya Jawa. Berarti yang boleh memainkan Minecraft Java Edition itu edition hanya diperbolehkan untuk orang Jawa saja. Betul apa betul?
Aku Jawa loh mas.
Ya, yang tidak Jawa tidak boleh main.
Berarti gua uninstall dulu, soalnya gua Sunda.
Nah, ini salah sono, gak usah, jangan mainin.
Eston.
Oh iya.
Eston itu.
Apa?
Resten bukan Jawa,
Dia
cuy.
keturunan Jawa ya Eston itu.
Respon half-half.
Half-half.
Half. Emang Jawa asli aku cuy. Cuma bedanya aku
Hybrid.
Tong apa? Tidak ada argumenmu tidak valid jika Anda tidak memberikan KTP.
KTP-nya ya KTP sangat tak. Tapi kalau kartu keluarganya ya suka Jawa.
Belok. Wajib melampirkan.
Oh,
Aduh, gak ingat lagi yang aneh anjir. Jenis kelamin, kirimkan file.
wah.
Versi foto itu.
pula.
Kan.
He was called away earlier by some people from the Tenryou Commission.
Obat.
They said they had something important to
Entah
discuss.
masalahnya kadang-kadang kalau kamu ngomong apa tuh pasti ada aja kepikiran something gitu loh.
I thought they'd come to arrest him at first. Turns out they couldn't have been friendlier to him.
Mantap,
Seems like they really
tekstur
respect the
dari
guy.
kepasang. Ha.
Just a little while ago, this would have been completely
Bentar, ngapain
unimaginable.
gua crafting torch doang di crafting table?
Kan bisa di inventory ya.
Thank you. Guess we'll go.
All right then. I'll just
Ini
stay
wilayah
here
polisi
and
ini, pohon terbang.
Kadang tuh
Bon, kamu di
ribet
mana, Bon?
ya. Udah masuk ke anunya Raiden Shogun.
Bon,
Apa?
What the fuck?
kowe di mana?
Itu 1200, 1200.
Swan Fury.
1297, 1250.
Ngapain ke sana jauh-jauh?
Ya aku bikin base di sini.
Bener aja, Bon. Dika dekat sama sini loh.
Anjing sini. Sini lo kepes, sini lo kepes, sini lo kepes.
Kenapa jauh-jauh
Bon.
bikin base-nya?
Itu itu yang tadi siang yang lu kirim itu beneran apa?
Iya. Di saku C2.
Bang, saat gue juga mau anjing.
Maksud kamu pada pengen saja dua.
Di gangbang KW aku di gangbang KW.
Wow.
Oh, KAZUHA, Cuk.
Oh? It's you. Greetings. We were just discussing the repealing of the Vision Hunt decree. Since you're here, you're very welcome to listen in on the conversation. We invited Mr. Kaidahara here to extend a gesture of goodwill
Mr.
on behalf
Kaidahara.
of the shogunate. Your hard work has secured for us the agreeable state of affairs that we now enjoy. Also, I've been granted the chance to correct my clan's past mistakes, and for that, I'm deeply grateful.
Bilangin sama bapak lu
Kamu iron di gua.
kalau bikin kebijakan gak usah ngati-ngati.
The Almighty
Apa sih
Shogun
komenku?
has issued a large array of directives aimed at resolving, or at least easing the tensions
Gak
that
tahu
built
ya,
up
aku
over the
lihat
years.
si KAZUHA ini nih mukanya muka-muka orang tidak bersalah ya.
Orang tidak bersalah.
Weh.
Siapa di portal Dika? Ada iron buat mining.
The Tri-Commission has made the recommendation to use this opportunity to
Orang
restore the
gila dapat
honor of the
60.000.
Kaidahara name.
Dika.
Regarding the
Lo
history of
nolak
the Kaidahara
bagaimana sih,
clan,
Dik?
I trust that you're already
Baik
somewhat
juga mulai
informed.
sehai.
In short,
60
there was once a
langsung
group of
ya.
select
Pasti dia Maron
bladesmiths
fan
who
dia.
served the shogun directly, responsible for upholding and further developing the traditional blade forging arts of the almighty shogun. The Kaidahara clan belonged to this
What
class.
Demon aja berarti aku.
Goreng menggoreng.
Mas.
Oh ya, ngomong goreng menggoreng, mari kita nyanyikan jingle sebelum buka puasa. Yang itu. Bukan yang ini. Goreng-goreng masak itu loh.
Goreng masak tumis bimoli.
Bibir monyong 5 cm.
Si Dani.
Maksud?
Suci 5 kali.
Ya, aku ada rencana di bulan puasa ini, semoga aja sih bisa kesampaian ya.
Apa?
Seminggu 2 kali upload.
Oh, kira C6 KAZUHA.
Gak gitu. Pokoknya upload video Minecraft biasa, video biasa bukan video short. Kalau short tetap seminggu sekali. Gimana semoga sih kesampaian. Kalau enggak sampai ya sudah.
Amin.
Tapi lanjut. Singkatnya dulu Inazuma memiliki ini.
No.
But there came a time when some of these bladesmiths
Kecil.
revolted and fled to Snezhnaya.
One.
Both the Kaidahara and Kamisato
Tembak.
clans were held accountable
Belum
for
mendapat
lax
dukungan.
oversight and entered a period of great turmoil.
One.
Apa?
Itu
We later learned that the whole misadventure
Yeah,
had been
sama-
secretly orchestrated by the Futuri.
Ikut dong.
Attributing all of the blame to the
Boleh
Kamisato and Kaidahara clans was neither proper nor just.
Gimana?
.mp3. .avi.
Ton.
Video mukbang siang hari, captionnya P batal puasa guys.
Janji nggak ngerusuh.
Parah banget.
Considering Mr. Kaidahara has
Halo,
once
guys.
more
Kali
made
ini
an
kita bakal
outstanding
puasa-puasa.
contribution to Inazuma,
Gitu,
the
pasti.
almighty shogun believes he should not only be rewarded for
Halo
his
guys, jadi di
achievements,
sini.
but also receive
ini
recompense for the
adalah-
excessive punishment borne by
Dan
his
ini
clan in the
adalah-
past.
Apa tuh?
Live stream Genshin Impact.
Oke, waktunya
Cocotek kalian, aku
Dikit.
lagi fokus
Boleh.
yo, lagi baca.
Saya aku
Maaf.
mau ini dulu. Desktop
Sampai
full
saya kemarin terima kalian di masa lalu.
In the interest of preventing
Ah,
further
sampai video saya.
harassment of the bladesmith clans by the
Mati lo.
Fatui, we
Mati
chose
lo.
not to publicly
lo.
release the findings of our investigations
lo.
into these
back.
matters.
Ada.
We trust you can understand why this was necessary.
This is a true honor. I am delighted to be in a position to receive the goodwill of the almighty shogun and the shogunate at large.
Ton.
Apalagi?
Dani pun buka puasa siang hari dengan teman-teman. Saya buka puasa siang hari tepiye yo.
Ya,
Tolong anjir.
Ya batal.
Enggak masalah
kata-
buka puasa siang hari.
Lek kata orang Jawa itu puasa beduk.
Betul.
Oh,
Gak usah
betul.
suruh beduk, mokel.
Puasa mokel.
Oke.
Berkedok.
Karena
Bukan,
dia
puasa
kira azan zuhur adalah azan maghrib. Enggak, itu orang dogo anjir. Lah masalahnya maghrib tuh apa tuh namanya, matahari tuh udah ada kelihatan, Mas.
Dongo Pro Max.
Dong, bro. Aku download RGI pack.
However, would I be
Okay,
correct
Ipak.
to assume that this
Tapi versi Java.
magnanimous gesture does not
Apa, Dik?
come without some strings attached?
I can assure you that nothing
Balikin
could be
30
further from
orang
the
di
truth.
chest. Di chest punya
We
aku
seek
malah.
only to correct a past
Sabar, sabar,
injustice. With the Kaidahara clan's reputation and
Langsung
occupation
ke
restored,
tema aja
the
nih.
Kaidaharas will be bladesmiths once more,
Buset.
and your wanderings will finally come
Mau
to
ke
an end.
Bonsi kah petualangan?
You will be able to lead a safe and
Ton,
prosperous
ada
life in
DM, Ton.
Inazuma City with the almighty shogun's blessing and full support of the shogunate.
I have grown accustomed
Das
to
mana?
life among the elements.
Ada banyak
I
das
fear I would
salah.
no longer feel at home behind the tall walls of a stately
Cuma dua.
abode.
Ya udah.
Yet my ancestors did indeed take great pride in the name of Kaidahara and the art of blade making for which it stood.
Masuk di forum.
Memang dia udah verified.
I sense some hesitation in your words.
Emang ada grupnya. Itu kan ke FIFA kan servernya.
Member Vanity only yang bisa masuk.
Baru tahu ini 4 hari lagi. Apa tahu 4 hari lagi tuh gimana?
Buset, chestnya kebuka, menganga.
Should you accept this offer, I imagine many of the malicious rumors currently circulating through the
Sidang itu tadi
populace
apa?
will disappear.
Anda aku minta sama orangnya.
Malicious rumors?
Siapa? Apa?
Oh, we
Apa itunya?
heard on the way
kok-
here was so much
Oh,
praise
Reston
that we
SMP.
almost wondered whether there was another Kaidahara
Reston
Kazuha
SMA.
in town.
Well, to some, the Muso no Hitotachi is something that can never be defeated. They
Survival
cannot
Minecraft
accept the idea that Mr. Kaedahara really
pertama.
carried the Shogun's
SMP
strike.
kan singkatan dari Survival Minecraft Player.
Also, eyewitnesses saw
Survival
him using the
multiplayer.
power of Electro in addition to that of Anima.
Tiger.
As a result, the
Sekolah
falsehood
menengah
that
pertama.
Kaedahara Kazuha was using a delusion began to
Ya
spread.
udahlah, kita ke tempatnya Bonsai dulu, kita mining di sana.
What?
Tuh gua udah bisa ngechat.
Meaning
That doesn't make sense.
Infokan lokasi Bon.
Using a delusion turns you
Tadi
old
lo
and
di
frail.
food estate Kemenhan itu lokasi gue
Kazuha
tuh.
still looks fine.
That is correct.
Dan apa di
However,
general
to some
sama
people, the
Off-Topic
idea of
gua
a single
selalu-
person
Makasih.
wielding two elements at once is a more inconceivable notion still.
This is just one of many similar rumors. I am very uncomfortable with being the subject of public discussion, no matter whether it brings suspicion or stardom my way. But perhaps if the shogunate is willing to publicly support me, this situation will
Aku juga
blow over
mau.
more quickly.
122 kok. Salah.
Gede
This is
banget.
precisely why I encourage you to give our offer some serious thought. It stands to benefit all of us.
Di
Sejak
XK.
kapan anak panah jadi badak banget?
Yo, Kirayos hitam. Yo, Azril rasis anjir. Bro, foto bro.
Wow.
Waduh. Screenshot.
kemaluanmu.
Screenshot. Viralkan.
EU 12 kali AMD Ryzen 3600.
Oke, lanjut. Aku kembali setelah 10 hari kerja dan malah dirasisin. Gak apa-apa, kita tinggal di Amerika.
In the hood.
Injahud.
Injaut.
Please allow me some time to consider. In fact, let us put this discussion on hold for the moment.
Hitler mati di Garut.
Hitler mati di Garut.
Well then, what
Garut.
brings the two of you here?
Garut.
Oh Garut. Salah
We
dengar.
nearly forgot about the most important
Ntar,
thing.
Stan itu servernya server Minecraft Java apa ini?
Jawa.
Oh,
Jawa
Minecraft
bisa,
sama Bedrock.
bisa tapi jadi kependidikan Jawa sih.
Why
Oh,
would
ini nih,
such a
ada ini nih.
dangerous individual
portnya
be
nih.
looking for me?
Portnya yang Bedrock itu ada sendiri dia.
No,
Kalau yang default dipakai buat
this puzzles
server
me as much as it does you. My fighting
Itu,
forms
Tan.
were taught to me by my
Yang gua kirim di
family,
DM itu
based
bukan
on
IP-nya.
techniques originally developed for blade
Aduh.
testing.
Tidak,
We undergo
informasi
rigorous
tersebut
training
tidak
to
benar.
standardize
Adolf Hitler,
every
pemimpin
motion the
Jerman
blade
Nazi
is
selama
put
Perang
through,
Dunia
so
II,
that each
meninggal
can be
pada tanggal
fairly
13 April
assessed for quality.
1945 di dalam
Over time,
bunker.
these techniques came to form
fuck?
something of a Kaidahara
Ya,
sword
sudah.
art, focused on blade testing, but with a full repertoire of combat forms.
Kenapa ya cuma PS1 doang atau gimana sih?
Itu Stan yang
Those
gua kirim
forms
di
are
DM.
quite different
Salah
from the
apa?
more practical ones typically used by
Poster
samurai in battle.
Apakah Hitler mati di Garut?
So it's hard to imagine that the similarity you speak of was coincidence alone.
Pernah gak sih lo lihat ikan tenggelam? Gak pernah.
Sering.
Ikan tenggelam. Iya, aku sering, Mas.
All the
Aku
more
gak mau
reason
lihat
to
ikan
watch
tenggelam.
your back. This guy was a
tuh?
serious nutcase.
Karena ikan tenggelam tuh mati.
Oke.
Iya kan?
Orang gila ya tuh dapat gitu.
Ini bukan jokes. Ini bukan jokes.
Iya deh.
Heeh.
Ya deh.
Kita berusaha untuk menjadi paslon 02 yang dimana selalu serius.
Wanci.
Enggak 01 deh, salah aku.
02 malah paling santai, Mas.
01.
03 Mas mendingan.
03 middle.
Sekali sih break di sini tapi enggak dipakai.
03 mah aduh.
Bokep semua.
Astagfirullahalazim.
Tadi aku nyari bolep di Ganjar 34.
Woi,
Woi, woi, woi, woi, woi, woi.
01 be like left TikTok gas.
Ganjar 34.
Astagfirullah, ortu saya juga 03. Ayo lo Zahir.
Mau tahu nggak?
Hah?
Kartu saya golput.
Wah, barang siapa yang dengan bangga menyebarkan bahwa dirinya golput maka akan dikenakan denda ataupun pidana penjara selama 3 bulan. Ayo lo.
Gitu juga sih. Tapi gimana ya? Ibuku tuh nggak tahu cara nggak tahu cara apa. Nggak tahu visi misi caleg yang di sana.
Lah kan di sana ada visi misinya, Mas. Hoi.
Nggak pernah ketemu sama sekali, nggak pernah lihat.
Alah. Gimana mau
Iya,
jadi Indonesia emas sih kalau misalnya baca aja udah mau.
Bukan nggak baca, maksudnya informasi dari caleg yang lainnya tuh nggak ada.
Alah.
Sama sekali nggak ada, iya dan.
Ya kalau caleg lain kalau misalnya tidak yakin ya Anda bisa merusakin surat suaranya
Loh.
asal jangan golput.
Astaga, oset monumen top. Ngeri.
Indeed. He sounds highly
Kalau
aggressive.
ini PDI.
Anyone
sih.
he targets is
Masuk
at
akal,
risk
masuk
of
akal.
serious
Jadi
injury
intinya kalau
or
lu
worse.
pilih 01, partainya lu kasih apa itu Demokrat atau yang lain atau Gerindra lah. Terus kalau pilih 02, partainya bisa PKS, bisa PDI. Nah kalau 03, partainya silakan pilih Demokrat atau PKS juga. PKS kan jangan, Demokrat aja.
Kalau presiden dipilih, tapi kalau yang lainnya enggak.
Itu
Asal
dari
nggak
oposisi
dibikin
gitu.
kosong aja. Dan ini ketahuan nggak baca jam analog. Nggak bisa baca jam analog. Gundul muatos di atasku ini ada jam analog ya, tai.
Sebelah aku ada jam analog gede tuh.
Nih, jam analog nih. Kalau aku bangun tidur itu selalu dilebihin 45 menit. Di PC aku juga ada jam digital. Itu di pojok kiri bawah itu ya, di pojok kanan bawah itu ada tuh kanan kiri nih. Di monitornya ada dua-duanya nih jam digital nih.
Siapa di sini yang belum bisa format 24 jam?
Lah, format 24 jam gue udah hatam anjir.
Yang belum
Siapa yang nggak hatam anjir?
Siapa yang gak hatam?
Yang nggak hatam keterlaluan sih. Amerika, bro.
Hah? Oh ya Amerika ya.
Amerika, bro. Tapi kan itu kan formatnya PM sama AM.
In that case, I will send some men out
Masalahnya
immediately
ya,
to search for him.
di apa namanya Nickelodeon aja tuh pakai formatnya tuh WIB loh. Buat acara-acara
Indonesia.
gitu tuh.
Nickelodeon Indonesia, iya.
Enggak, Nickelodeon yang ini yang di TV kabel.
Iya,
Yang
kan
Southeast
itu
Asia.
lokal. Memang pakai WIB kalau lokal, tapi kalau di Amerikanya pakai.
Iya beda lah. Anda bandingin tuh tidak apple to apple, Mas. Anda tuh apple to pineapple, Mas.
Oh, mau
iPhone, Apple.
Astagfirullahalazim.
Yang bisa
Klip viralkan, klip dan viralkan.
klip dan viralkan. 124 1300.
Kita doakan semoga orang yang di generasi Prabowo ada upgrade-nya sampai 2029. Siapa alumni sekolah di zaman Covid 2019? Saya.
Aku
Alumni tuh.
Alumni itu kan SMP.
SMP rata-rata di sini.
Aku SMP gara-gara Covid lulus.
Ya, sama. Harusnya di itu juga ada praktek kawin anjir.
SMK dari kelas 1 sampai 2. Ya itu sama, di rumah juga. Bedanya yang
Aku
kelas 2
Covid
PKL.
pas aku kelas 7 semester 2 sih.
Nah, ini ada obor-obornya Bonsi nih. Obor-obornya Boncos. Boncos di mana kamu?
Thank you.
Di bawah.
I must say,
Oh,
I
yang
am now
menggali
very
freeport.
curious about this matter.
Menggali
I will
apa?
first join the
Freeport.
traveler in investigating the one who
Oh, ada
attacked him,
kokobin untuk ambil.
then give you a conclusive answer upon my return.
Buriet Reasuremap
Udah
Very
ambil
well.
itu.
diambil.
Please stay safe.
Yamon.
Let's go and
Maksud,
track
maksud.
down your aggressor.
Enggak, cuma ngambil doang. Habis itu nggak dikembalikan. Ah, ini
The
Bonzi.
detective agency
Oh, di
knows
tadi.
the most about what goes on in town.
Aku di bawah.
See what we're
Di bawah mana?
Ada staircase itu.
Mana? Kita mining bareng-bareng aja.
Oh, langsung ketemu gua aku.
Apa? Terus apa kamu, Dik? Terus apa kamu, Dik? Terus apa kamu, Dik?
Guys, RAM kalian berapa, guys?
RAM-ku 32 giga.
Oke.
Creeper.
Kira 64 disk.
64 di
64 disk.
We'd like to ask you a quick question.
Diks.
Itu lagi loh.
Pizza.
64 diks.
Gak typo 1 doang itu langsung beda arti.
Dika! Otak Dika! Hitler mati di Garut.
Know
ini
if
dia.
anyone around here
kita
has been
mining.
looking for
Mari kita
him?
main.
For Kaidahara Kazuha,
Gua
we
nggak pakai full
mean.
break ya, Bon.
Aha!
Pakai
So
cuma
this
memang
is the
sengaja
renowned
apa
Mr.
matiin dulu buat
Kaidahara.
kata-kata.
You are too kind.
Tuh, jedot.
We are currently investigating an assault and would appreciate any help you can offer.
Kenapa mau Java itu pada semua ada kalau di Bedrock?
Oh, you were targeted in an assault? Let me think.
Bon, dan kali jadiin 3
I
blok
can't seem
napa?
to recall
Sedikit
anything
kita.
of immediate
Ya udah,
interest.
jadiin sendiri.
Mr. Kaidehara is currently the talk of the
Jangan.
town, so there are always a
Oh,
lot of
sedikit aja
people
ini.
looking for him. To be honest with you, our detective agency has recently
Ada
been
pipis.
receiving many inquiries from people
Hah?
wishing to obtain
Pipis
Mr.
siapa?
Kaidehara's personal information. Some of them were offering us millions of mora just to gather the information they want. If these were more legitimate commissions, Songo would have snapped them up in an instant.
Tenang, ada shield.
Millions of mora? Whoa!
Tun!
Oh,
No
wait,
way!
Even at that price, you probably still shouldn't.
Please, accept my
Sabar,
thanks for
sabar.
looking
Big
out for my
cabe.
privacy.
Big cabe.
Bentar, aku mau balik dulu ke
course.
atas.
No matter what, we only take on legitimate
Gak ada apa aku.
cases. We
Aku
don't
balik
make
dulu ke
our
atas.
money by revealing details of other people's day-to-day life just for the sake of it.
Big cabe.
Sorry, I got a little off topic. What I'm really trying to say is, it doesn't surprise me that a complete stranger is looking for
Oh,
Mr.
dapat tipis banyak. Ambil,
Kaidehara.
Dik.
But I wouldn't know where to begin if we want to
Lazuli.
connect this with an assault.
Then let's put that connection aside for now. Have there been any other
Nanti habis
attacks
ini
or
aku
similar
pengen bikin
incidents
pelekatan
recently
di
that
rumahnya
stand
Bonzi.
out as particularly unusual?
KRL
The
gitu,
Tenryo
air.
Commission had very few leads, and I thought you might have some information from different sources.
Kalau nemu demon bilang ya, Dek.
Big bebek. Apa big bebek? Yang satu big bebek, yang satu dix lagi.
Ika pede.
It's true that the commissioners aren't clued up about every little thing that goes on out in the streets. But typically, it's only the most trivial events that manage to escape their attention.
Demon! Oh!
If anyone had been out there attacking people, that would be assault, in which case the Tenryo Commission would absolutely get involved.
That
Gak.
does make sense. Uh-oh.
Enam.
Looks like the trail's already run cold.
I still
Demon
find
toy.
it difficult to
Aduh,
believe that
Pingu.
whoever attacked you hasn't been causing any trouble elsewhere. Few people possess your prowess in battle. So unless you were the first person he targeted,
Oh iya,
someone is
seandainya
certain to
aja
have
ini
been hurt by
Bedrock
now.
udah aku nyalain fitur
I am well
eksperimentalnya.
aware of your
Kayaknya
talents.
sini belum ada sih.
There is no need to be humble around me. In fact, I'm
Gabriel
quite
Chamber kita
relieved
sama
that you were the
mainin
one he
dua itu.
targeted.
Queen
It would
Charge.
cause me great grief to see someone become critically injured or lose their life because of me.
Demon lagi.
Lu semua NPC, aku MC, alah.
For the poor victim, this would be a completely senseless crime.
Enam.
Don't
Sok-sokan
worry,
jadi
we'll
MC dikasih
find
soal
it.
fisika kata-kata.
It seems you are every bit the selfless hero they make you out to be,
Ambil
Mr.
buat
Kaidehara. Surely this same concern for your fellow man.
You
Nol
flatter
bagi nol
me.
berapa?
Truth be told, I don't know quite what came over me in that moment.
Hot stuff.
Bang, nama TK OpenIP itu tadinya mesra ya? Hah?
Tadika.
Ini emang sengaja ditepoin apa-apa ini.
Sengaja typo dia itu Dan. Sama Akmal di band sih nanti.
You are much too humble.
Astagfirullahaladzim.
I completely understand your concerns.
Jangan biarkan
I will
ibu
try
memasak
my
lagi.
best to gather whatever leads I can for you.
Coba banget kayak Ian. Betul.
Iron Fan mantap.
Hai.
Di Nether. Orang gila di Nether Dika. Skeleton.
Oh,
Miss lagi.
actually, there was one strange incident over the last few. Let me tell you about it just in case.
Sure. During times like this, the more information we have, the better.
All right then.
Okay, thank you.
Recently, 2 people went missing from the city at around the same time.
Jika kau NPC, maka aku beri kamu
Ruin portal kah?
Soul RNG.
Beri 1 permintaan.
Soul RNG itu naon ya?
Fortress, Cok. Buset, ambil dik.
One of
Kita
them is a
bikin terus
pretty
nanti.
well-known collector, surnamed Nagato. The other, Amenoma Yuya, is a samurai from the Amenoma clan.
Amenoma. Now there's a
Right. Yuya is the nephew of Amenoma Togo,
Bon,
the
kau
owner
lagi
of
meninggal?
Amenoma Smithy. 2 grown
Enggak, apa,
men
di atas
going missing
pinggir
at the
apa?
same time. I
Itu
recalled this because
pengisi suaranya
Amenoma Yuya is also
ya?
an accomplished martial artist who is skilled with the blade. Perhaps
Enggak
he's
kepleset
the
kali dia
one
ngomong
we're looking
Amenoma.
for.
Understood. Though it seems highly unlikely to me. I neither know this man, nor do I have any idea why he may wish to attack me.
Dika tenggelam di lava.
Sure, can't hurt. We never know what we might find out along the way.
Rasa air laut itu tuh rasanya asing kan ya? Iya, asing.
Asin.
Ya deh, serah.
Iyain. Asing, bener.
Iya, udah
Wih,
kasih.
gila, kamu pinter banget. Gila,
Ya,
aku
itu
aku
kasih
bangga
kasih
banget.
itu.
Bangga banget.
Duh, hongo.
Thank you,
Udah biarin
Ryuji.
Mas itu udah kena
We'll
virus
start by
aplikasi.
making some
Nggak bisa
inquiries at the Amenoma
diobati.
Smithy.
Virus hitam.
Yeay, hore Azril dapat. Tidak dapat apa-apa.
Aku dapat creeper.
Sounds good. All the best with your...
No. Meledak di belakangku gila.
Dan
Ah.
saya izin pamit untuk pindah ke rumah sebelah.
Nggak boleh.
Boleh lah.
Wah, langsung.
Wajib melampirkan surat izin.
Ah, if it isn't KAZUHA,
Surat izin pindah ke rumah sebelah
what brings you here today?
oleh Uni Soviet.
Berikut ini adalah izin yang saya berikan. Nomor 1,
Nomor 1.
Apa?
Jangan
nomor
dibohongin.
2, nomor 3.
Tidak ada suaranya, tidak sah. Tidak ada suara dianggap tidak sah.
Mau voting.
Gini nih, pendukung.
Astagfirullah.
Mendukung Starfield.
Tebak paslon berapa?
04 aku.
Aku sih 05 ya.
What the hell? Ya udah, aku duluan aja. Ntar balik lagi kayaknya.
Enggak balik lagi, awas lo ya. Dicipok igun ntar lo.
Nih aku jadiin.
Amitnya aku ambil semua ya, Bon.
Silakan.
Oke,
Aku sisain enggak sih, aku udah ada Onyx bisa zoom.
Nah, jadi kembali lagi dengan Anu. Buka aja lah. Nah,
Yes, the Kaedahara and Amenoma clans were both members of the Raiden Gokaden. Historically, there have always been deep links between the two clans. After I returned to Inazuma, I visited Mr. Amenoma to pay my respects. Let me quickly explain. The Raiden Gokaden was the collective term for the 5 most acclaimed bladesmithing arts in Inazuma. The techniques of blade making were personally bequeathed to the Raiden Gokaden by the almighty Shogun, and over time, further honed and enhanced by the most talented craftsmen. Unfortunately, a series of events led to the gradual decline of many clans in the bladesmithing trade. Today, only the Amenoma clan has kept its art alive.
So sad.
It is a great pity indeed. In the old days, we each had our specialties, and just as iron sharp, as an example, the Amenoma art strives to emulate the abiding patience and determination of water. There is nothing mystical to our work. There is only practice, day in and day out, until both body and mind have memorized the craft, turning each motion of every technique into an intrinsic part of the bladesmith's life.
Saya sebenarnya bisa melawan rasa malas, tapi saya malas lawan. Ada.
Tapi malas lawan orang.
Udah tidak
gila.
ketulungan.
momen.
As for the art of the KAZUHA clan, I believe it's called the Ishin
Para bahasa ML
art.
gak jadi.
That's right. Ishin
Prepare
art
teleport,
strives for
Jancok.
complete harmony between blade and
Lihat yang
mind
uji mob
from the
Java
moment
itu.
that forging begins. For only a blade thus forged can capture and
Mob
convey its
Jawa.
maker's thoughts and feelings, and eventually become an
Wah,
extension
kayak
of its
obsidian.
wielder's will.
Head. Aston.
Apa?
Berarti ini spawn rate mobnya ngikut Java kan?
Iya, Java ini.
Berarti
Pada
kalau
dasarnya
di
Java.
Indeed.
kacau
Most
sih Java
samurai
itu
choose
spawn
their
rate kencang
blades,
gitu.
But an
Sayangnya nggak
Ishin
ada
blade
geser untuk ini sih,
chooses its
geser
owner.
untuk Bedrock. Jadi gini.
You
Alasannya
are,
setelah-
without a doubt, the most
Lepas.
worthy wielder of an Ishin blade.
Gak usah pakai celana.
It gladdens my heart to see.
You overestimate me. My
Lagi
actions
nih,
are guided by my own personal sentiments,
Tidak ada demon
not by
lagi.
any noble aspirations on behalf of my clan. But let's get back on topic. The purpose of our
Kalau nggak
visit
ada
today
demon,
is to
kita
gather some
ngapain?
information on your missing nephew.
Berenang.
We hope to assist with the investigation.
Ah, yes. My nephew. He didn't say a word before he left, which is very unlike him. I'm still completely at a loss on what to make of it. But I've done what I can so far.
Koordinator Kadik.
Worrying is futile. All I can do now is wait for the
Yeah.
news
Jawab
from the
sudah
Tenryou
pertanyaannya.
Commission.
Terjawab sudah
If
pertanyaannya.
there was a collector involved in the
Orang
disappearance
hitam.
too, know anything about that?
Ikan ngamuk.
Mirip kakek yang di Jepang itu, apalagi astagfirullah.
Demon di atas.
Kakek
Seru
Jepang.
banget.
Yes. On the morning that Yuya went missing, he gave me a very cryptic look and said that he was going to give me a great gift. I believe he went to collect the item from Mr. Nagato after that. The next thing I heard was that a fire had
Kakek
broken
Jepang
out
siapa
at the
dulu namanya?
warehouse.
Sugiono.
Yes.
Mm-mm.
Strange,
Sepertinya.
isn't it? I wonder what could have caused it.
Pokoknya dia udah meninggal ya.
Unfortunately, there was very little
Masih hidup.
evidence left behind,
Harusnya.
so nobody knows what really happened.
Aduh,
Aku
Masih
bentar
hidup
mau
loh.
ke toilet.
udah tua bangka
Kenapa
juga
kayak
cuk.
Dika, kamu masih di portal
Apa
apa
lo
gimana?
kawoi lo?
Lanjut mining Bon, temenin. Demon
Nah, aku
lagi
lagi
mantap.
ini bikin jalan ke bawah.
Dika ngamuk sama orang hitam. Ayo. Achievement into fire. Dapat
dapat
Dika
blaze dia.
blaze-nya. Dapat blaze sword dia. Mantap Dik. Cara ender pearl Dik, baru kita bikin ender chest. Bikin 3 lah, tengah 4. Diamond lagi, mantap. Dapat 14.
Iron. Aku masih di atas dulu mau benerin jalanku tadi.
Ya udah aku tunggu. Dapat string. No, udah nggak ada
Aku
diamond
mau
lagi.
bikin jalan ke minus 58 dulu soalnya.
Minus 58. Minus 56 aja.
Di mana 58?
56 lebih bagus.
56 ya?
56. Soalnya di atas lava sama lu bisa nemu Ancient City.
Di balik layar, haha, orang hitam apa anjir. Tipos AFK mata nih. Ini efek gara-gara gara-gara tadi itu ke WC deh. Matane, Cok.
Do you have any thoughts on what Yuya may have wanted to give you?
If I had to guess, it must have been some kind of rare weapon. Otherwise, there would have been no reason for him to get my hopes up.
Keren banget gue bejir.
He's never
Gua
been
bangga
particularly
sih kamu
interested
jadi
in blade
informatika.
forging, but has always had he is extraordinarily talented
Nah,
in
Deka, kamu
martial
masih di tempatnya
arts,
Bonsi kah?
particularly when it comes to the art of the sword.
Truth be told, we have some information that you may find to be
Oh,
objectionable.
nyala, pantas.
The person we are looking for, he attacked this friend of mine. Based on the evidence we have gathered so
Oh,
far,
empatis lagi.
only Yuya seems to match the suspect's profile.
What? No. Absolutely impossible. He is humble
Aku pengen
and
pakai full
kind.
back, tapi aku nanti nggak
Even
bisa
his
nonton touchnya
training is
gitu.
done with the goal of calming his mind. He has never gotten into a fight before.
Is that so?
3 rot.
Yes. If there's one thing I can
Buset,
say
ada
for
yang
certain, it's that
mantap dapat
Yuya
diamond
would
lagi
never
sih.
draw his blade without a very good reason.
17 diamond.
But, with that said, it's equally out of character for him to just disappear with neither farewell. I also cannot know what course of
Aku di bawah.
action he might be capable of if coerced or
Oh, ini
otherwise
dia.
compelled by circumstances unbeknownst to me.
Dapat
Anyway,
diamond, coy.
should you
17.
find him, please
Don't worry, you have our word.
From the sound of that, Paimon doesn't
Aku
think
kayaknya
Yuya
agak
was
bakal
the one
honest.
who attacked us as well.
Sneak.
Yes, it sounds as if something happened when the two men met each other.
Ini udah gua.
Aku fokus ke Iron dulu sih ini.
Let's
nggak
pay
ke
a
diamond
visit
dulu.
to the Nagato household.
Dia malah langsung.
Pengen jadi Trakteer Dani. Apa? Tidak mau. Trakteer.
Trakteer.
Minimal Trakteer aku dulu.
Dani dari Trakteer.
Linknya ada di deskripsi. Maka dari itu kita Trakteer Dani dulu. Betul. Tapi tidak ada imbal hasilnya ya.
I'm very sorry, but we cannot afford to pay what we owe right
Trakteer
now.
Dani dapat apa?
My husband has
Dapat
gone
Alkitab.
missing, and I'm still trying to find him.
Hoak.
No, you misunderstand us.
Berapa katanya?
We are here to help with the investigation.
Berapa?
We'd like to
Orang
ask you some
hitam
questions
berapa?
about Mr. Nagato's disappearance, if we may.
Si Dika pure rasis, cuk.
Ah,
Ini
I
soalnya
see.
dia habis dibunuh sama orang hitam tadi.
I thought the debt collectors had come to visit again.
Kesel dia.
Langsung rasis mod anjing.
Anjing botku. Kenapa? Pindah alam dengan cepat.
Dan dia bilang Anda belum set point.
Sudah. Depan dekat rumahmu.
Alamak ada ternyata.
Kalau ada gua air bilang Bon. Creeper emang jancok. Susah kali dibunuh creeper di Java. Sangat beda sama Bedrock. Pertama aku mau ke jungle dulu.
Trakteer sedot WC. Apa tuh sedot WC di Trakteer tuh gimana ya?
Ya gimana?
Nggak apa-apa sih sedot WC. Lumayan. Bisa ngosongin speed tankku.
I'm sorry you have to see me in this dreadful state. Has some new information come out? Do you know where he's
Masih
gone?
di cave kah, Bon?
Masih di cave aku.
I'm afraid we don't have any new information at the moment. We're still trying to find out as much as we can to inform. With this in mind, can we perhaps ask some questions about your family's current
Itu kan
situation?
cave baru, Bon.
For example,
Bentar.
Paimon's struggling to understand why a collector would be strapped for
Fauna is
Mora.
not.
Spawning.
That's
Kalau
a
Java
long
perasaan ada limit
story.
itu gak sih? Jumlah mob.
Ever since I've known him, he'd always get so animated when he was showing them to me. I knew nothing about the items myself, but seeing
Dik,
how
Dika.
enthusiastic and excited they made him,
Bikin itu yuk.
I
Darurat
was
farm.
happy to believe that they were just extremely important to him.
Dikira super arkan.
Dari Rianto Surya. Maaf saya tidak lanjut nontonnya, tapi sukses selalu untuk abang. Algonya lewat beranda saya, tapi saya titip doa aja. Ya terima kasih dan terima kasih sudah menyemangati.
Kamu kenapa begitu?
Jadi
Tontonlah.
ya aku tidak bisa berkata, tapi intinya terima kasih banyak. Ya dari Azril,
Tonton,
pertama-tama
tonton,
mari kita
Azril.
panjatkan puji secara syukur kita aku belibet.
Malah mukodimah.
Next time ya bang, ya udah apa-apa. Thank you juga udah udah mampir juga. Itu sudah sangat berarti bagiku.
No way. Telur hijau.
Thank you. Thank you Rianto Surya. Pertama-tama marilah kita panjatkan puji serta syukur kita kepada kehadirat Allah Subhanahu wa taala yang telah memberikan kesehatan sehingga kita bisa berkumpul di pidato Dani saat ini. Ini kenapa jadi pidato sih?
Dibilang kok malah mukodimah.
Ini kayaknya jelas ya bang. Next time ya bang, oke. Udah seru-seru juga, wah thank you banget.
Kamu masih di tempatnya Bonsi nggak sih?
Everything was fine when we first got
Kalau enggak, aku
married,
langsung ke dalam nih.
but as time went by, things changed for the worse.
Langsung terjawab.
Langsung terjawab udah enggak.
Uh-oh.
Hitler
What
masih juga.
happened?
Tambang
He
Freeport
lost his
milik
sense of
organisasi
restraint.
Pace Menari. Apa
He started
sih?
buying more and more things, and
Organisasi
even
Pace
resorted to
Menari.
borrowing money just so he could pay for them. Our expenses really spiraled out of
OPM,
control when he started
organisasi
getting
Pace Menari.
interested in weapons. It was awful. He wouldn't sell them, wouldn't even touch them. Just sat there staring at them like
Ya, tambang
he was in a
terus.
trance.
Angkat
I'm
tangan
happy he has a hobby and
kiri,
I'm willing to support him. But making ends meet has to come
main
first.
point blank.
I've tried talking to him about it so many times.
Oi.
Malah betulan si Dika.
Iya kan? Jadi bener tak?
Di nyalain loh soundboardnya loh, goblok.
Ya siapa yang namanya satu di situ?
Dika.
Mas Zahir, Mas Azril. Kalian ini ngapain sih? Aneh kalian berdua ini. Pendukung keras Prabowo yang sulit.
Bowo.
Aku.
Dari tadi saya
On the
sama
last
Prabowo,
day that I
tapi
saw
lupa
him,
dengan Bowo
I gave
TikTok.
him an ultimatum. I said,
Nah enaknya Bedrock ini
if he
bisa ini.
refused to sell his
bed
collectibles
bawah.
and pay off his debts, I would divorce him and take the children with me.
Apalah kegabutan kita saat ini bilek. Enggak sih kalian berdua emang rata-rata sih gabut ya.
Whoa.
Aman?
And that led to an
Baik,
argument.
aman.
Mantap, aman ada.
Actually, it
Gak bisa.
didn't. Generally, he's a quiet man who likes to go with the flow. On most things, he leaves the decision-making to me.
Jatuhin lo aku.
You must understand, I never would have dreamed of threatening him with divorce if the debts hadn't pushed our family to the brink. After I said those words, he froze and was silent for a long time. When he finally spoke, he
Goblok,
awkwardly mumbled that he would pick out a few items to sell.
Mimnya lewat IG ke bawah mimpi. Itu andai
His
itu.
voice was so meek and pitiful that I felt an urge to take everything back. But then what? If I
Apa
didn't
sih aku
draw the
bikin
line,
kaori?
what would happen to our family?
Kaori Island
Had I not indulged his bad habits,
sedang
we wouldn't have found ourselves in such a predicament.
18 doang.
And I also don't know if he had actually come to his senses, or if he was the next thing I heard was that our warehouse had caught fire,
Sekali laptop sini.
and both he and the buyer had gone missing.
I see. I understand. Amin Omayuya came to purchase a weapon from Mr. Nagato. During the sale, a fire broke out at the warehouse.
At first, I assumed they must have gotten into an argument over the price.
Belum.
But my
Aku
husband
nggak
has
ini,
never
masih
been
fokus
one to
ke jalan dulu.
negotiate. He never even haggles when he's out buying
Kita bangunin jalan
groceries,
biar
so
merata dulu.
it's hard to imagine him
sampai
getting
sebelah.
into a fierce argument.
Gue tiap hari menunggu Danilo sebelum live udah gue siapin mau komen yang lagi viral-viral. Aduh, tiap hari
Kalau
nungguin tuh
mau
Anda
grindstone
seperti
nggak?
tidak
Aku ada dapat
ngapa-ngapain.
grindstone 1 dik di dalam chest. Ambil 1 nggak mau.
Rencana Azril ini emang epic kok. Fuck, man.
Kalau ada stream Dani jangan lupa bawa
Maybe he
popcorn.
was feeling
Soalnya
the
sambil
pressure
gaming
from the
kita.
debts?
Bawa bakso aja kenapa? Gak usah pakai
Bakso
tepung.
boleh, makan berat itu.
Disarankan
tepung.
jika Anda menonton streaming saya disarankan untuk membawa bakso
Tanpa tepung.
tanpa tepung. Jangan tepung dong. Kalau bakso tanpa tepung tuh gimana?
Dika tenggelam. Ini aku kemana nih perginya?
I don't know.
Gimana
He
gimana?
just
Udah tahu.
disappeared after the warehouse burned down.
Pergi. Oh, ini dia
Perhaps
nanti.
he's too afraid to come home now that all his
Aku mau
collectibles have been lost in the
Ini
fire,
aku mau pasang
and
torch
he's
dulu.
got no way to pay
Biar
off
nggak
our
nge-spawn
debts.
itu si cendol.
Even though I'm still a little mad at him, we're a family, and I want us to face our. As long as he's willing to turn over a new leaf, I know we can work things out.
Please don't get upset. There could be more to this situation than meets the eye.
Bakso tanpa tepung. Tak tahu aku. Ya udah, yang tahu-tahu saja.
Mau saya suka kok.
Dapat dari mana coba? Village.
Pengen tahu di pasar ada, iya banyak kok. Aduh, ngomong tahu jadi pengen tahu sutra. Besok beli ya.
Udah lama sekali
Kukus.
nggak makan tahu sutra loh.
Ya besok pengen beli ya tak kukus. Kadang kalau tahu sutra tuh kalau direbus gitu tuh kadang-kadang enak itu. Gimana ya?
Enak, kamu bilang nggak enak.
Kalau dicemilin aja gitu, enak aja gitu. Gak dikasih apa-apa, gak dikasih nasi, gak dikasih apa-apa gitu. Dicemilin aja kita direbus.
If collecting things is a habit that Mr. Nagato had his whole life, it is quite unusual for this habit to change so drastically over a short period.
Nah, masalahnya kalau cari diamond dan temanmu dapat diamond gacor banget itu tergantung sama perbuatan. Nah, jika Anda dapat diamondnya sangatlah sedikit, maka seperti kata pendukung 01 dipertanyakan keislamannya.
Lagi bawa agama.
Aduh.
Bisa
Mulai
nggak
mic-nya,
nyalakan
mulai mic-nya
tanpa
tuh.
bawa agama?
Langsung kena azab mic-nya itu.
Gak sih, aku
51.
besar tiba-tiba.
54. Nah, udah mau 56 ini. 55, satu lagi.
Marilah anggap itu tidak ada, jadi lanjut.
Apa aja ada ya guys.
Alah.
Diamond lagi, mantap.
But the information we gathered from the other side suggests Amenoma Yuya is also a mild-mannered man who would not be likely to start an argument.
Lagi yuk, biar dapat full armor yuk. Habis itu ke enter
This situation is getting a little confusing.
A little confusing. More like completely mystifying.
Let's try a change of scenery and see if we can piece together what we've learned.
Genshin Cold Never.
Hal yang paling menyedihkan menurutku adalah DM FF gak masuk. Nah itu tanyakan, kasihan banget.
Rest assured, we'll notify you if we find anything.
Thank you so much.
Tahu zombie di mana itu? Oh di sini zombie.
Udah mau jam 9.
Based on the information we've gathered so far, I can only surmise that the sales meeting between the two men was somehow the catalyst for their disappearance.
Renko meneruan melawan bot aja. Ada.
The fire at the warehouse likely played a part in how the situation unfolded.
Itu skill
Though
issue
its
sih.
exact role is a mystery. Do you have any thoughts?
Dapat bom?
Well,
Enggak
I was thinking that maybe someone accidentally knocked over an oil lamp.
Orang hitam.
Never mind. Paimon's brain needs to rest for a while. Over to you.
Enderman.
Oh,
Iya, itu kan Enderman. Aku lupa install texture pack ini, Ender Woman.
orang gila. Orang gila.
Kelihatan tuh keroconya. Saya komplain ke orangnya, kelihatan tuh kerocoy.
Oh. Apa maksudnya dengan kroco?
Lama PK ku mau habis pula.
Mana ada gua baru nih.
An interesting explanation. I was also considering this possibility. Amenoma Yuya
Habisnya
is
aku
an
naik dulu
expert
mau
on
bikin tangga juga
swords.
biar mudah naik turun.
Maybe he recognized a blade as a fake, or a well-known stolen item. Either way, after arguing about it, the two men they thought a fire would destroy everything. But then the Tenryo Commission began investigating and uncovered some incriminating details, so they fled to protect their secrets. But it's a far-fetched theory. I can't imagine how they would have been able to reach an agreement. One fact that I keep coming back to is that Amenoma Yuya is polite and well-mannered, while Mr. Nagato, being heavily in debt, is also the only one of them with the potential motive to disappear after the fire. The more I ponder it, the more puzzling it becomes. Just what could have happened there? Right. Although the time frame seems to broadly match, no other details that we've learned seem to link the two events together. Amenoma Yuya lacks a key distinguishing feature of the attacker, namely that he is principally a practitioner of the blade testing techniques of Amenoma art, not those of the combat-oriented Ishin art.
Darn! We thought we could get two birds with one stone here, but at this rate, it's starting to look like a wild goose chase.
Let's keep going, since we've come this far. If we can solve the case, both Mr. Amenoma and Mrs. Nagato will be able to get some closure.
Penyengir hati pengen nyatir. Nyatir mulu. Ntar disatir balik. Nangis. Bro, masih ingat kata legend tersebut? Iya. Begitulah namanya Gazril.
Okay, but where should we...
Let's head out of the city and check out the warehouse. There's still a chance we may be able to find some shreds of evidence.
Asli dah ini ganggu banget, dikiranya diamond.
Pakai tekstur itu biar bisain.
Namanya apa sih yang mirip kayak diamond?
The wind rises.
Fine, glowing fine.
Wait. I hear something ominous in the wind.
Buset, ada air mengalir dari atas ini.
This must
Itu
be another
ada
one of
tumpah.
those sounds that only you can hear.
Iyalah, nama aku kan emang Azri, emang siapa lagi? 67.
As sketchy as that whole thing seems, you did put it to good use when we were chasing down that vision thief at Beto's tournament, so...
Now I'm picking up a strong scent in addition to the sound. It's right around here somewhere.
Kayak Town Farm di mana ya?
But there's nothing here.
It's gone now, but I can still sense the direction it left in. It felt very much like that ancient presence in Inazuma. The remnants of the Tatarigami.
Masih kurang dong.
Indeed. But this unexpected spring of inauspicious energy may prove to be of benefit to our investigation. We should remain vigilant and approach...
So it's an underground warehouse.
The force is definitely coming from down below. The source of the Tatarigami energy has long since left this place, but the residue it left behind still hasn't dissipated completely. Judging from the concentration, I would have to conclude that the Tatarigami source resided here for a very long time.
Mrs. Nagato said her husband used to hang around the warehouse by himself a lot.
It could well be that he was already under the influence of Tatarigami energy at that time. From what I've been told, Tatarigami does not turn all upon whom it preys into violent monsters, but most will develop a stubborn streak upon being exposed to the Tatarigami's unfulfilled will. Their interests become fanatical obsessions.
Kadang saya heran sama kadang saya heran sama Kadang saya heran antara live sama live di komen tuh gak setopik sama live-nya. Ya itu udah hal yang biasa, kalau stream itu udah hal yang biasa.
Hal yang biasa.
Heeh,
Hal
sebenarnya.
biasa itu mah.
Kalaupun
Apalagi kalau
biasa
dianip
kalau
pasti
misalnya mau sekonteks atau setopik itu biasanya tuh kayak diskusi. Kita baru diskusi. Biasanya kalau misalnya comment chat itu rata-rata yang aku lihat itu ya pada out of topic semua dari topik yang ini.
Bahaya.
Mr. Nagato had an interest in collecting to begin with. The influence of Tatarigami could explain why he became an
So what should we do now? Go down and take...
Step back. I'll open the door and take a look inside. If we don't open this door, we can move no closer to the truth. You needn't worry. Both of us have faced far greater dangers than this. Relative...
Nah udah.
Selesai kah?
Ya tinggal step mining.
What's down there?
Everything's buried in debris. I can't see anything. It looks like the fire caused a cave-in, reducing the entire warehouse to rubble.
Iron udah 1 stack, mantap.
That was too scary. Paimon was so...
All we can do now is keep searching in the direction that the Tatarigami energy source left this place. 2 ordinary humans, entangled with the Tatarigami.
Tapi ada iron
I
vein.
fear much misfortune has already befallen them. Yes, let's go. Quiet your mind and focus on what you sense around you. Perhaps you too.
Siapa itu?
Halo Dewi, Ratnasari.
Dewi. Kita ingat Dewi yang
Rar.
Astagfirullah.
Itu mapnya udah kawin ya?
Hai guys.
Halo.
Kita kemarin sekali.
From this point, the trail appears to split into 2.
Ya ampun,
The
Bon.
main
Jangan
source of the
dikorupsi tetangga.
Tatarigami energy continued
Kalian
on
lagi
into
apa,
the distance,
Mati kah? Ada
but a
yang korupsi kah?
small portion remained here
Jangan dikorupsi.
and seems to be
Main
dissipating
Bedrock.
Ada
slowly.
yang ghost block.
Main
Bentar, bentar. Aku datang.
Genshin.
Mana?
Mati di
Mulai dah ngepak lagi gak bisa buka event.
Ini mirip kolektor. Suara siapa tuh? Suara Dewi Permatasari.
kurang 1 diamond aja lagi.
Ya itu suara Lichan guys. Emang dia lagi trial jadi lelaki.
Trail jadi
Di.
lelaki. Gila.
Pilot jadi lelaki. Aduh,
Lagi
lah.
belok nih.
Lagi live.
Lagi belok
Anda
nih.
pasti langsung ngomong
Mana
kelamin.
nggak ada tuh yang dikorupsi?
Ada 1.
Oh ini. Ghost block ini berarti.
Sumber utama kekuatan Tatarigami sudah
Ah.
pergi meninggalkan tempat ini. Namun masih ada sedikit.
Kalau nggak bisa buka event lagi,
Tuh bisa tuh. Boleh.
Kok bisa, Bu?
Whoa! Look at all those hilly
Hari
churls.
pertama
They're
main
acting really
ini nih
strangely.
kalau server close play nih.
Something seems to be drawing their attention. Let's take a closer look.
Jika
Weh, ini udah sampai. Saya izin keluar dulu, teman-teman. Bye-bye.
Jika lagi di
It's-
base kan bagaimana?
Look at this red stuff.
By the looks of it, a letter written on a piece of torn clothing. Well, let's take a look.
Gua baru lagi lah.
Buset, kenapa sekarang videomu kalau malam-malam suka ngepick 1000 ms gitu?
According to this letter, a conflict arose because Amenoma Yuya wanted to see. Yuya started the fire that destroyed the warehouse and wounded Mr. Nagato in the fight. Mr. Nagato kept chase as long as he could, eventually stopped.
So,
He was not only mortally wounded, but also under the heavy influence of Tatarigami. Add to
Masih nggak bisa
that
buka
the
event loh.
fact that its aura seems to have attracted a horde of monsters, and whatever traces there may have
Nggak,
been
ini
of his
kumpul
fate
lagi.
beyond
Kurang
after this
aja ini.
point, they've since been disturbed by the hilly churls. There's nothing more for us to find here. Yes. Right now, if Ame no Mayuya is attacking other people indiscriminately,
Pencarian gua
then the
baru.
longer we take to find him,
Right, so let's get moving.
I wouldn't be surprised if he too fell prey to the influence of the Tatarigami. For a practitioner of the martial arts, the easiest desire to inflame would be their pursuit of further power and skill.
Bayangin lu ngelihat cermin dan lu ngeliat sosok yang akan sukses di masa depan. Buset.
Cermin lihat sosok yang akan sukses di masa depan. Siapa kira-kira?
Ketemu Dawe ntar.
Dawe.
All the clues that at first seemed disparate and disconnected, it seems that now we know the thread that runs between them. I have a hypothesis that, if it's correct, not only explains the series of events leading.
Wait, you figured it out? So these two cases are connected after all?
I believe so. But it's something of an outlandish idea. On with the search. We must stay vigilant.
Nah, bisa buka event juga.
No, creeper di mana-mana.
Nggak bisa lagi Di home kontol.
Astagfirullahalazim.
Creeper jelas loh.
Kayak IndiHome gak punya kelamin aja.
Why here? Is there anything special about this place?
I'm not sure. But on closer examination, I sense that the aura may have lingered here at several different points in time.
Show yourself.
Depan Dani hancur.
It's no use hiding anymore.
Gila. KAZUHA bisa gitu ya.
Kaidehara KAZUHA. It's you, at last.
Aha! So it is that. What's your problem, huh? What could
Kan
you
di desa saya
possibly
Ibu
have
MS tuh.
against Kazuha?
Indeed, there should be no enmity between us. If it is Ame no Mayuya that's... But what if instead of facing Ame no Mayuya, we are in fact facing the blade in his hand?
Now that you mention it, it is giving off its strange light. Whoa! Surely you don't mean... Are you serious?
Tatarigami energy often lodges itself within physical objects, then works to subtly affect any living organisms in its vicinity. The blade has resided in Mr. Nagato's warehouse for many years, affecting his state of mind, and more recently using the sale as a means to affect, or rather, as a means to occupy Ame no Mayuya's body.
You're sharper than I thought. You've already deduced the truth of the matter. Many, many years ago, I was forged by a famed bladesmith of the Ishin tradition. I was his pride and joy. In me, he is a descendant of the Kaidehara clan. You should be able to guess our greatest regret.
I presume it has something to do with the Raiden Gokaden.
Indeed. At that point in time, he failed to live up to the Raiden Shogun's expectations. In the end, all he could do was to flee the nation by sea on a ship bound for Snezhnaya. He was a bladesmith of great renown, a master of his craft. There was nothing that he could not accomplish. All he needed was more time and a little faith. And sure enough, in the end,
full set armor
he achieved
ditambah
what he
full
had
set
set
full.
out to do.
Berapa diamond perlunya?
All of his life's work, his wisdom, he not only bestowed upon me the greatest of strength, but also endowed me with a consciousness of my own. In her conceit, the Raiden Shogun lost not only the single most perfect blade in the entire world, but also in...
So, swords can become conscious and control people?
The people of the time in which I was born never believed I had that kind of power. They saw me as a mere blade, a sharp and well-crafted one.
but in all other respects an ordinary weapon. After the death of my creator, I decided to leave Snezhnaya and began my long quest to return to the distant land of Inazuma. Moving from one person to the next, I controlled the minds of countless hosts along the way, each bringing me I seek but one thing: to face the full force of the Raiden Shogun's blade and prove my power, the might of Ishin art.
Ah, so Amenoma Yuya was not your first victim. Tell me, what happens to those you've possessed when you've finished using them?
My hosts? Who cares what happens to them? They are but tools that serve my mission. When they got tired or injured or unusable, I hopped to the next one in line. All I needed them for was to take me back to Inazuma.
You're awful!
After I returned to Inazuma, I decided to bide my time in Nagato's warehouse until Amenoma Yuya handed himself over to me on a silver platter. At long last, I'm approaching my journey's destination. By Amenoma Yuya's body, I have found you, and by your hand, I shall defeat the Raiden Shogun. Kaedehara KAZUHA, you stood against the Raiden Shogun's Muso no Hitotachi. There can be no other to serve as my... Now, give your body over to me!
Siapa yang relay?
Bobby yang makan gila itu.
Wind Strider!
Submit to me!
Time to go!
Shower me with praise! Time to shine!
Order guide you.
Hey!
Solidify!
Sharing my knowledge!
Behold!
Join me and sever that divine light!
Unsightly insects!
Do not stand in my way, or I will strike you down too!
Your bluff's fooling no one! You've lost!
Lost? I can never lose. It is this body that has reached its limit, nothing more. Even if you defeat me here, the one who falls will not be me, but this man. He is but a puppet that can be replaced. I can take a new vessel at will. The end result is the same. I will end this wretch's life before you can lift a finger. And even if I were to lose my physical form, it is but a small setback. By any means necessary, and any medium available, I shall return and fulfill my destiny!
Your fighting style. It is indeed the forms of Ishin art. But from your movements, I sense only hatred and arrogance, as well as a thinly veiled mania and despair.
Really? You can tell all that just from his moves?
As I've mentioned before, the forms of Ishin art convey the user's thoughts and feelings. Since the blade is currently possessing Amenoma Yuya's body, its movements express the innermost thoughts of the blade. If you ask me, the mania is probably due to your desperate, single-minded ambition.
Are you trying to claim that I am helpless without you? On his deathbed, he passed to me all of Ishin Art's secrets. The little that you know barely scratches the surface. In that regard, why would I ever need your help?
Because all of that is in the past. I've been wondering why you've not caused more trouble in all the years that you've been in Inazuma. If you are indeed a cursed blade that can possess its owner. Now that I've seen inside your mind, everything finally makes sense. You weren't biding your time. You were trapped.
Mirip Hero Alpha di Legenda Seluler, tidak tahu.
After all the time that's passed, you have grown weak. To the point that you are now unable to acquire a new host without making physical contact.
Oh, that's right. Paimon remembers now. Mr. Nagato had a
Oh,
habit of
berarti
never
kurang
touching
tahu.
his collectibles.
Kenapa
Only
nggak di
when Mr.
udah
Nagato
200
witnessed his
aku?
wife's distress
Biasa.
and decided to
Iya,
sell
makanya
his
itu dah.
collectibles,
Kayaknya
did
ambilnya
you
dari rumahnya
finally
rusak.
have an opportunity
Atau
to reach
resetnya
out to
mungkin.
Ame no Mayuya and make your escape?
Mikrofon akses sudah normal.
What of it?
Suaranya berarti.
Well, that brings me to my second point. There's a despair in you that you were determined
Soalnya
to
ini soal
fulfill
si
your
Dani
maker's
lebih menang
ambition
daripada soal
whatever the
Setan.
cost.
Kalau ini gimana?
But this ambition is too
Nah,
grand
ini
and
kayak
too heavy for you to
Rupanya
bear.
di ini
Each
cuy.
step you have taken
Diturunin
has come at a
dasar.
great cost.
Exis paket los lagi. Exis ini kadang-kadang lancar tapi suka paket los kayak gini loh.
I think you realized your limitations long ago. The more you clenched your teeth and pressed forward, the greater your fear of losing everything you had achieved grew. But the way I see it,
Kalau ini
what
hook untuk
began as
pinknya
an
naik nggak
ambition
jelas.
has long since become a...
What would you know about any of this? I'm just one step away from achieving my goal.
Oke, udah jelaskan.
You returned to Inazuma to prove the
udah. Tadi di mana
unparalleled
itu
brilliance of Ishin art. But to make this arduous journey, you
Apa,
committed
kenapa, Bon?
countless atrocities and showed a blatant
Tadi di mana
disregard for
settingnya itu?
human life. Even if you
Settingannya
were to
rupanya
sever that
turun
divine
sendiri
light,
dia.
is this truly the outcome that your maker would
Harusnya
have
100
desired?
mau di 88.
You.
Sure, you inherited the secrets of Ishin art. But
Nah, ini
even
kalau
as
kayak
you
di
made
hook,
your journey to
nge-lag
honor
banget.
this legacy,
Tapi nggak
you
pernah pakai
treated
plus.
the ones who wielded you as mere tools to do your bidding. How could you possibly unleash the full potential of Ishin art when you act in perfect discordance with the principle of harmony between
Akhirnya
the blade and
ketemu
its bearer?
kolam air
Silence,
gua.
you
Udah aku
blabbering
mau step
fool.
up dulu.
I must
Nggak jelas pinknya.
achieve my goal. I will concede that you are most perceptive.
Pakai
You see
Telkomsel.
my predicament clearly. But
Telekomunikasi
you
seluler.
also underestimate my resolve.
And you should face reality.
Masih live stream enggak, Dan?
Masih.
Gua kira
Kenapa?
udah selesai.
Belum. Ini belum kelar soalnya yang si
Easy for
KAZUHA.
you to say. Facing reality offers me
KAZUHA yang
nothing.
pengen ketemu sama si Tomo ya.
Ah, nggak tahu.
I have no need of anything that would stand in my
Jangan
way.
spoiler dong.
Not hesitation, not self-reflection,
Tono.
and certainly not your
Tono.
so-called reality.
Diamond, mantap.
It is
Diamond
pointless to
mulu.
argue
Tiga,
further, descendant
4,
of the Kaedahara clan.
35,
If you wish to save this man,
36.
then offer me
37.
your body in
How stubbornly you stick to your wayward path.
Satu stack
I
diamond
do
lah
not
baru kita
believe for a
selesai.
second that you can challenge the almighty Shogun in your current state. So let us make a bet.
Apakah Genshin masih kikir sampai sekarang?
Surely you're not planning to agree.
Very
Masih.
well. Then
Mungkin.
find yourself some enemies with whom you wish to cross blades. A taste of
mungkin?
my power will more than convince you.
Kan kalian tahu. Masih
Once
kira
we
apa
have
enggak
dealt with
sekarang.
them, we shall proceed to Tenshukaku.
And as for your end of the bargain,
Kalau
if you
sekarang sih udah enggak
lose,
ya seharusnya.
you must release Amenoma
Harusnya
Yuya
ya.
from your control.
Harusnya.
I accept.
Do this, Kazuha!
Tapi kalau sama si Kikir juga wah udah sih.
This is the only way to
Harusnya
save
udah
Amenoma
close server
Yuya.
itu.
If we don't do this, he'll forever be the Blade's puppet. The cursed Blade's
Bintang 5
strength is currently
gratisnya aja loh
very
cuma
weak,
karakter
and I sense
apa
he's
cosplay.
hesitating.
Si itu.
This suggests his heart is
Tapi
still not.
cowok.
The power of the
Bukan.
Tatarigami lies in intensifying
Ini
existing
Alloy.
obsessions.
Ya, Aloy.
This is the
Aloy
reason
Vera.
Mr. Nagato and
Jomo di
Amenoma
gamenya.
Yuya,
Di game
even
aslinya
if
dia Jomo.
things take a turn for the worse,
Alamak,
I
jomok.
still have you both here with me.
Ya gitu kan tau kan.
We have a
kalau
chance
Zero
here to
Dawn
save
dimana
an innocent victim.
di
I am willing to accept.
Your disdain for me betrays your woeful
Ya gak
ignorance.
heran sih.
I agreed to this bet because there
Kalau aja pernah
now.
lihat cutscene ini,
Take me in your
cutscene game
hand.
dulu.
Buset.
Jadi gua tahu kalau si siapa Alloy itu Jomo.
Pantas diboykot sama MUI.
Gak gitu aja.
Karena Dika yang di
Kazuha?
I'm okay. I felt a little dizzy at first, but only for a moment. It's all right. So far, this was as I expected. I will. Thank you.
What should we do next? Have you got a plan, KAZUHA?
We find some enemies. Although this blade has endured much turmoil, it probably hasn't experienced many real fights. If a blade built for Ishin art cannot enter a state of harmony between blade and bearer, it cannot unleash its true power. If he wants to avoid reality, then we need to fight until he has no choice but to face it. He shouldn't last long in an intense combat situation.
Wait a minute. Paimon remembers hearing about something from the Adventurers Guild. Since the Takasukasa clan abandoned that secret base, it's been held by Ronin ever since.
Ah, all right.
What about Aminoma?
The blade says he'll let Aminoma Yuya trail us silently. Although he hasn't regained his own consciousness yet, he is not in any immediate danger.
Are we sure this is a good idea? Okay, fine.
Jauhnya ke sana. Agak lihat mana ini? Atas sini aja deh.
Buat bocil.
Kita masuk ke domain deh.
Domain expansion.
Kan yang itu.
Domain expansion.
Kan domain lagi.
Gak jelas, gak jelas. Ah, ini yang ganggu banget dikira diamond.
Leave everything on this journey to me.
Diamond!
Ada yang bikin diamond mulu.
Ah, baca diamond. Oh, zombinya banyak. No, mau mati. Mati! No! Dapat diamond banyak padahal.
Clouds high.
Iya, dan banyak ornya banyak situ. Apa? Lewat gua soalnya.
Adios. Thank you sudah mampir, Azril.
I'm all right. The blade is performing largely as I expected. Having gone so long without proper use and maintenance, it's become very difficult. Though he's making every effort to persevere, I do not think he can last much longer.
Waypoint, modpack waypoint.
Something else on your
Iya,
mind?
modpack waypoint.
How strange.
Nah, kalau nggak salah di sini
Rather than
lewat
trying
sini.
to control me, let's keep going.
Salah jalan.
Let's get
Oh, yang ini kita belum lihat ini. Turun ke bawah. Gua air. Oh, ini bukan. Ini tempat diamond terakhir. Bayangin dikeroyok sama 10 mob. Apa nggak KO kamu?
Itulah sama
Udah habis lagi.
mobnya. Coy.
Whoa! Something's up with the blade!
I can
Balik,
sense that his
soal jalan
strength
berarti
is
ini.
slowly fading away. The blade is he cannot hold out much longer. If he keeps persisting, he will likely break apart at any moment.
But what would that do to Aminoma Yuya?
Padahal udah
I will
lokasi
be careful
diamond
with
paling
it.
apik loh.
He also says he does not have any plans to give up easily. He's
Oh, nggak salah di atas
still
sini.
trying to achieve his goal.
Ah iya. Ngedrop ke sini. Apa
Time to
itu?
go.
Diamond. Mantap.
Diamond lagi perasaan.
Iya, kayaknya pakai X-ray lu ya Tonya.
Enggak pakai X-ray. Swear.
Beriga
Bohong banget gak itu?
22 diamond mantap. Mau aku share screen kah?
Jangan.
Oke.
Fine.
Silakan, kalau percaya
Clouds high. The birds call.
Bawah dapat apa? Enggak ada.
It looked like you were really
40
struggling the
diamond loh.
entire fight.
Yes. And it looks like he's reached his limit.
Di sini.
Machine's grown a bit
Nah,
dimmer
betul di sini
again.
jalannya.
It doesn't look
Asal ada
anywhere near as
atasnya.
impressive as it did at the start.
Perhaps this time
Masuk
we'll
ke
finally have a
sini.
chance to see his true form.
Turun ke bawah.
True form? What are you talking about? Huh?
Ini terakhir kali kejadian.
Same blade as before. It looks like a piece of
Masih ada creepernya. Nah, ini dia
If you
diamondnya.
choose to continue in the state you're in,
Astaga,
you
masih
wouldn't
ada
even
dong
be able
mobnya.
to beat Samurai and Kairagi, much less the almighty Shogun. Maybe you did truly wield power to rival the Shogun's light when first forged. But the long journey from Snezhnaya back to Inazuma
Oke,
has
aku dapat
left you
diamond juga.
battered and it barely needs stating anymore. Your ambition is
4-3.
a flight of fancy.
4-4.
I finally figured out
Empat
why
doang.
it was that you agreed to my
Untung
bet.
depan masih ada lagi.
You wanted to reach a state of
4-5.
harmony with me. For perhaps then you would
Aku
still
balik
be
dulu,
able
tak
to
habis.
wield commendable power. But regrettably,
4-5
we are
doang.
nothing alike.
Sini nih kurang
I will
ajar.
never understand your obstinacy and cruelty, nor can I empathize with the only one who truly understood you, had already passed away by the time you were born.
Huh? What's that supposed to mean?
There they are! Take them down!
Nggak mati.
Where do they keep coming from? Yup. We can help this time.
Don't worry, I'll use my own blade. It's just more of the same.
Mati sama creeper. Aduh, banyak.
Ya pas kok kita nggak ini, oh kita putar pas.
Bukan aku. Apa tuh putih-putih? Oh, ametis lagi. Mantap.
Putih?
Iya.
Blade 82. D3 ya. Dipakai Nobles Ogil terus
Glow Squid.
Installationnya 3.
Loh. Hitboxnya rusak.
Jangan. Speed dong.
Tuh, nggak ada makanan.
As one with wind and cloud.
Cut down like this.
You fought way better with your
Dika
own sword.
tenggelam.
You are a true Kaedehara in flesh and
Habis
in
ngapain
spirit.
sih, Dik?
Though we fought briefly together, no one knew anything of my story throughout my travels, nor did I tell it to anyone. I
dalam air
thought that
sini
if I could
biasanya
achieve
banyak.
Ishin harmony with you, perhaps there...
But in this too,
Babi
you have failed.
Unbreaking 3.
Indeed. No matter how hard I tried, I could not attain that perfect... Too much time has passed. My physical state is poor, and without proper maintenance, I can only disguise my true appearance behind an... Yours is the blade that took on the Muso no Hitotachi. And what a magnificent blade it is.
Actually, this is just a generic blade that I picked up
Glow
during my
Squid lagi.
travels in Liyue.
What?
Forging and maintenance are both important for a blade, but they are not
Lebih
everything.
lancar mana servernya? Java atau Bedrock?
This blade has traveled the
Better
land
sih.
with me for many years, and we have formed a close
Masa sih?
bond during that time. Skill, blade, determination, and desire.
Ada creeper. Ouch.
There is something else I must tell you. Though your maker may not have been
Ouch.
aware,
Ouch.
your ability to possess your own
Oh,
consciousness
lagi.
derived from the power of the Tatarigami.
kalah.
Tatarigami is a malevolence from the ancient past.
Berantem.
It is the source of your Though you tried to cooperate with me while I was wielding you,
Gini.
the part of you driven by
Kosong, nggak ada
Tatarigami
apa-apa.
was constantly trying to seize control of my body.
Dapat Silk Touch. Lu lagi
I
ngapain sih, Dik?
sensed it,
Lagi
but I
enchanting.
couldn't change it. It is an integral part.
I resisted its temptations because I wanted to save Amenoma Yuya.
Nanya.
But I do not know whether you yourself have any intention of
Ya
trying to
nanya lah
fight
buat
it.
mastiin.
I feel a great sense of regret for you. Since you embarked on the moment you embarked on this journey, you lost the only
Dapat
person
45
who could have
diamond
ever
doang.
unleashed your true potential. You have known this for a long time. It is.
He gave me everything. My life, my form, my
Creeper di belakang.
consciousness. How could I possibly deny him his wish? I said to him, "Do not worry. From here on, I shall forge your legacy." How could I go back on my word?
I believe our bet is now settled. I have nothing further to say.
Nggak ada makanan lagi.
Where are you going, Kazuha?
Mati sudah nanti ini.
He now has neither the ability nor the motivation to cause further harm. Let's give him some time to reflect.
Demon 2, 3.
When I touched the hilt for the first time, it's as if I was transported to a strange dimension. A bladesmith lay quietly on the bed, his frail face barely visible under the moonlight. His breaths were weak. A newly forged blade lay by his side, listening attentively to his final words.
Biarkan makan.
Wow. That was
Gak ada
the
makanan lagi
Blade's
aku.
memory.
Tolonglah, aduh ada fan.
While in
Gede lagi
exile in
demonnya.
Snezhnaya, the bladesmith eventually learned the truth behind everything that had happened. He spent the rest of his life in the forge, not to vent his frustration and hatred, but to atone for his actions. He felt intense regret at being tricked by the Fatu, but he could never again return to his homeland. His sole wish was to one day return his single, proudest creation back to the land of his birth. So he instructed this sentient blade to find a way back to Inazuma, no matter how long or how hard the journey. But all he wanted to show was that they once shone brilliantly as blade and smith, that they were still worthy of being trusted.
So that's the true story. But after that, the blacksmith's intentions were warped by the Tatarigami, slowly turning his proud creation into the cursed blade of today.
Right. I believe the bladesmith might never have known that the power he worked with was that of the Tatarigami. This blade has committed unforgivable atrocities, but only because it lost its... Yes, time would not wait or stop because of his determination. While the world moved, he seems to have calmed down, though. Let's...
When I look back at the past, I once told him that I would pay any price to fulfill his wishes, but darkness and slaughter numb the mind. Not only did I fail to fulfill his ambition.
You are finally seeing reality clearly.
Since we agreed to the terms of the bet, I will honor the agreement, but I still cannot bring myself to forsake his ambition. It is the entire purpose for my existence. So, may I ask you to help me fulfill the ambitions of myself and...
Hey! Now you're adding yours into the mix, too?
It has to be done in this order. At least hear what I have to say. And if you don't agree, I will still release Amenoma Yuya as promised. My physical form, as well as the knowledge I possess, should still be of some value to you.
His attitude has grown a lot mild. What do you think, Kazuha?
Let's hear it.
Thank you all. When I was first forged, my maker was already terminally ill. He told me, alas, after that, he never rose from his sickbed again. Nor have I ever had the chance to prove myself in battle since. My fights were devoid of any noble meaning. They were merely the next step in my never-ending journey. You are a fine warrior, I would like to request your hand in battle and experience a true...
Oh? And
I will release Amenoma Yuya and restore his consciousness. Perhaps after that, you can convince him to commit to a fight with you. He must have plenty of reasons to both hate me and desire a good fight.
understood. Then let's start by waking him up and seeing if he has the stamina.
I see. He used my body to inflict harm on others. I utterly despise him and his actions. But since he stayed true to your agreement by releasing me, he must still have some remaining semblance of... If a duel can help to set this state of affairs in order, I am willing to put myself forward. I do not wish to be a mere victim in this story.
There's no need to worry. We'll vouch for your innocence to the Tenryu Commission.
Thanks for your help. Who knows how this would have ended without your intervention?
All right, then let's move on. More Ronin could appear at any moment. We can't... In any case, for a final duel, I think we...
Oke, selesai.
Squall Fury. Too slow.
This reminds Paimon a bit of the Crux Clash. Yep, we still can't let our guard down. Even now, Paimon has a sneaking suspicion that Blade hasn't told us everything. Still, even if he's way past the point of redemption, it's hard not to feel a teensy bit sorry for him. Are you ready?
Ready? Okay. Successor of Ishin art, Kaedahara KAZUHA.
Successor of Amenoma art, Amenome Yuya.
Honored to cross blades with you.
It is my honor also.
Wind Strider. That hurt you. Wind Strider. Wind Strider. Clouds high. The birds call. Wind Strider.
Thank you for the although he appears battered and broken. In your hands, it seems he's regained a glimmer of brilliance. His sense of savage cruelty has completely faded away.
You also fought well. I'm sure he relished the experience. There are a few things that I shall leave him to tell you himself.
I must apologize to you for all that has transpired.
You need not seek my forgiveness. Nor do I have the right to forgive you on your victim's behalf. It is too late for all of that.
I do not wish for forgiveness. I only hope that you will see my transgressions as mine alone and not let them stain the legacy of Ishin art. I strayed far from the straight and narrow path, but the Ishin art still has a worthy successor in Kaedehara KAZUHA. I beseech you, please understand this.
Yes. I too trust Mr. Kaedehara to do the right thing.
Thank you, successor of Amenoma art.
This blade has also told me that he has another wish. He would like to visit the Amenoma smithy. Maybe we can go back there together.
What does he want?
I'm not sure, but I think that all this is about to come to an end.
Trakteer nih.
The wind rises.
Oh, I am sorry to have troubled you. It's all thanks to the...
A prized Ishin blade. Turned weapon that controls the human mind. Considering their... But I have some good news as well.
Really? Is he...
Yes. Badly wounded. And now that Yuya is back, it seems...
I think I know what you want to do.
What's wrong, KAZUHA? Is the blade whispering in your ear again?
Yes. He said he wants to take control of me for a brief moment.
What? No way! Hasn't it learned its lesson?
He tells me that he's thought of another way to fulfill his maker's wish. And he assures me that he won't use my body for anything nefarious. I have decided to let him do it.
But... Guess there's nothing we can say to change it.
Thank you. I will Okay. I am ready. Let us begin. Please, stay true to your promise.
My power is almost spent. Without him, my eventual demise is inevitable. But if I abandon the future to give everything I have in this moment, my physical form can be forged anew.
Everything? You mean...
Yes. The cost is my entire consciousness. You were right. There's nothing that I can accomplish now. But there's still a chance for Ishin art. Once remade, I will be a valuable resource for your studies. Ishin lives on, and its finest hour is yet to come. Even if I am not the one to prove its might to the Shogun, as long as it is an Ishin blade, crafted by Kaedehara hands, it will still fulfill his final wish. Thank you, son of the Kaedehara clan. Over the years, my real name has been forgotten by all. I'm ashamed to utter it, yet it remains strong in my mind. Kagotsurube Ishin. This name is now yours to keep.
Rest in peace.
So, that's why he said it had to be done in that order. His consciousness will disappear forever after fulfilling the bladesmith's wish.
Kagotsurube Ishin. It was the first time I ever heard his name. It seems like deep down he disapproved of his own actions, and thus chose to bury this name deep only in the final moments. Before his consciousness faded, was he willing to entrust it to another?
Seems like he really wanted to fulfill his maker's wish.
The same fervent ambition that gave him the motivation to keep going forward also fueled the stubborn determination that blinded him to the... Speaking for myself, I'd rather see him recognize and atone for his mistakes than see him punished for them. I understand. Perhaps this is a flaw in my personality. I've always been captivated by grand aspirations. Hearing his wish to rival the divine light touched something inside. Your quest to face the gods and trace your sibling inspires me in the same way. After everything I've seen, perhaps these pursuits fascinate me a little more than they should.
Oh, KAZUHA?
I will continue to support you from this point on. Know that you will have my assistance whenever you need it.
Wait, shouldn't we also go update Kujo Kamaji?
Oh, you're right. We need to tell him about the findings of our... And it's also time to give him a response to the offer he made me.
Sambil menunggu teleport, saya mau ke toilet. Kita kelar duluan aja.
Relax. You think I've got a sharp tongue? I just tell it like it is. If someone can't handle it, maybe that's their problem. Squall and Fury.
Salah anjir ke sana ternyata. Ya ampun.
You've returned. The Tenryou Commission has already attended to the danger at the warehouse. The investigation into Amanome Yuya should conclude soon. I do not believe he will be charged with any crime.
Wow, you sure kept...
Then we needn't recount all the details again. Now, as to your earlier offer, I wish to give you my answer.
What's this?
Kagotsurube Ishin. A weapon crafted using a long-lost blade forging art of the Kaidahara clan. By means of a series of fortuitous events, I was able to recover and restore him. I also promised him that I will continue to study and pass on the secrets of Ishin art. And so, it looks like I will likely continue with my journey across the nations, learning more about this blade as I go.
I see. I understand.
The Kaidahara clan has always been a family of bladesmiths, so it is only proper for me to continue on this path. Were I to accept your goodwill, I may find myself embroiled in conflicts between the shogunate and Sangonomiya. That would not suit me.
You misunderstand. That was most certainly not our intent.
I am aware, but I still desire to continue walking my own path.
Very well, I can understand. Then let's pretend this offer was never raised. However, if you should ever change your mind or find yourself in need of the Shogunate's assistance, please do not hesitate to inform me.
Great.
Where will you travel to next, KAZUHA?
I'll probably take to the seas with Captain Beto again for now. As for my next destination, let's see where the wind takes me.
Dan selesai. Ya.
You must have a whole bunch of questions after our last conversation with Nahida. Paimon was ready to ask her a million more questions, but didn't want to seem too pushy. Like, about these descenders. So, does that just mean people like you who come traveling to Teyvat from someplace else? And as for your sister... Whew, so many questions. Let's go find Nahida and see what else we can find out.
Dan ini adalah salah satu potongan untuk untuk quest nanti di quest pembalikan kejadian. Ini kita ketemu sama Scaramuts atau siapa namanya itu Wanderer untuk membahas soal yang tadi Descenders itu. Dia mungkin kapan-kapan biar kita kerjakan. Kita disuruh ketemu di Razan Garden. Berarti di Shadow of Surastana ada di atas, at least tempatnya itu nggak ada di bagian sini. Jadi menurutku ya fun aja sih. Jadi oke, itu aja sih untuk streaming kali ini. Cuman sebelum kita udahan, kita coba buat balapin Oscar dulu. Rabon dia juga lagi streaming, jadi kita coba buat buka streamingnya dia deh. Halo yang lagi nonton 1 biji. Ya kan? Dia lagi quest. Dia sedang mengquest, gila.
Kayak dari aku lu udah ambil. Bentar dulu anjir. Coba yang dulu.
Oh banget dia gitu ini. Bingung lah asli kalau mau puzzle-puzzle gini.
Oke. Ribet-ribet gini nih. Otakku gak mungkin. Lu ngapain nih? Gua kurang tahu. Skip dulu ya. Yang penting saya nanti udah.
Oh dia udah ngebalas duluan ternyata.
There's no such thing as pure freedom in this world.
Awok gimana sih maksudnya, Cuk? Awok. Ya lu nonton streaming gua ya? Live chat gua kayak freeze deh. Enggak? Oh ya, kan gak ada yang komen anjir. Udah kelar yang tadi.
Yang membalap.
Ya kali freeze, Cuk.
Cannot go on forever. Relax.
Mana? Balap. Oh. Oh ya di sini nggak kelihatan ya gini. Baru render tai. Oh iya. Nggak freeze kayaknya bang live-nya chat. Iya cuy. Terus abis gua buka malah lancar anjir. Aman. Tes balap ser enggak, terima kasih. Kayak muncul lagi.
There's no need to exchange pleasantries. It's rather pathetic to force a conversation just to occupy silence.
Ampun, Bu. Anjay. Ya kali nge-freeze lagi anjir. Apa mungkin tabnya gini ya? Tab prosesnya nge-freeze ya? Karena kebanyakan tab anjir. Ngeri banget ya.
Relax.
Ya, jadi ini aja. Jadi segini dulu aja buat streaming kita kali ini. Jadi ya intinya sih kita udah ngerjain dari karakternya si KAZUHA. Dan selanjutnya kalian bisa cek di streamingnya Oser ya. Dia lagi ngapain, langsung aja dicek. Mungkin langsung ke redirect ke sana. Aku nggak tahu juga nanti settingnya gimana. Tapi ya so ya situ aja. Thank you sudah menonton. Sampai jumpa di streaming selanjutnya. Goodbye.
Oke. Bentar, aku belum tadi di interaktif. Oke, udah. Source-nya ada lagi nih. Bentar, depan gue ini kayaknya ada kulus deh. Izin off, oke. Makasih udah mampir. Beliau ini sangat kocak ini. Ngantuk berat. Untung nggak ereksi. Oke, lanjut. Turun. Bisa sekolah. Mata gua picek.
Parah aja gak bisa di redirect, cok. Tai emang bangsat. Kecewa berat gua.
Karena gua ikutin dari internet interaktif. Kayaknya